Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about is guard clauses. This is just sort of a programming technique to write functions that just look cleaner, because what happens is that when you start doing a lot of conditionals, you might end up with a lot of nested if statements like this. So you see, like I have, because the idea is that this is a function that's going to check, hey, is the number divisible by 3 and 5? So we give it a number, so we're going to pass a number to this function, and first it checks, hey, is the number divisible by 3? Otherwise, it's going to log not divisible by 3. If it is divisible by 3, then it'll go to the next if statement, divisible by 5, and then either say, yes, it is divisible by 3 and 5 or not. But the idea is that you see, like, this is a little bit tricky to read, okay, this whole nested structure, because you're not sure, like, it can be hard to see at first what does that be, which if each else belongs to, and sort of what order this is all going to play out. So the idea behind a guard clause is the idea is that you take advantage of that inside of a function. Again, so this only works really inside of a function, that when you return a value, the function stops. So the idea is you're going to say, hey, you're going to check for the things that would kill the process, like meaning go no further. And if those things are the case, then what you do is you're just going to return a value and shortcut the circuit, the function. So this same function, if we were to write it with guard clauses, it would look like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little comment here saying here's going to be our guard clauses. And then down here we'll put like the process, like what we really want to do, assuming there's no reason for us to not do it. So really what we're doing is checking for two things. Is it divisible by 5? Is it divisible by 3? So what we do is we take a different approach. We do an if statement. So if num, and we're going to do if not. So if num is divisible by 3, so modulo 3 equals 0, because that means it would be divisible by 3. And if that's not the case, then we will console.log not divisible by 3. But the problem is if I just leave it like that, it'll keep going through the rest of the function. If that's the case, I want the function to stop right there. So I'm just going to return, and you can literally return anything. It doesn't matter. Okay, because the idea is the minute the function returns a value, the function stops. And then I can just keep doing if statements like this for each particular thing I would like to check. So then I can check if it's 5, and it's the same thing. Okay, and notice they're not nested. So I can just say, hey, first it checks, hey, if it's not divisible by 3, done. If it's not divisible by 5, done. If both of those are basically, we get past both of those if statements, then we know it's divisible by 3 and 5. So then I can just console.log divisible by 3 and 5. And we can see like this looks a lot cleaner. So the idea is basically having all the checks for things that would just shut down my function ahead of time, and then using, again, the ability to short circuit a function through its return value by returning something earlier on to stop the function early. And then that way this other code doesn't run, and this way I don't need any else statements, so you don't have to worry about like, trying to figure out which else statement goes with the if statement. You don't have to nest any of the ifs together. It just overall is going to look a lot cleaner. So this is going to look a lot cleaner than this. Okay, but you end up with the same exact result. Okay, if it was not divisible by 3, it's going to console like this. If it's not divisible by 5, it's going to console like this. Assuming that both of those, it is divisible by 3 and 5, meaning both of these if statements should fail, then the function would continue on and then console log divisible by 3 and 5. Okay, yeah, and that's generally the concept of guard clauses. You're just, again, checking for a thing and shortcutting the function if that is not true. Okay, so you put those conditionals up front and you put them as standalone ifs instead of nesting a bunch of ifs. Overall, going to end up cleaner code, cleaner logic, easier to understand. My name is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com. Make sure to go check out devnursery.com and grokoverflow.com to find all my videos and tutorials. And subscribe to my podcast, the Web Dev 101 podcast, or my data podcast, the Data Nation podcast. So you can find those over there on Spotify and YouTube, Spotify and iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and so forth. So you guys have a great day. Enjoy. I'll see you all later.